Well, hello friends. Today we are going to do a challenge of sorts. We are going to try to get Hacker News to render in our web browser. And that might be easy or it might be hard, I'm not sure. But I figured we would just step through it piece by piece and see what we can do, starting with just loading it up and taking a look. Okay. So this is what we have at the moment. Now, some stuff here is looking kind of promising. I mean, we got the, all the text seems to be here, although this is all mushed together. And we've loaded some kind of image, and obviously we've loaded some style as well because the text is kind of grayish. So some stuff is already working, but clearly we're going to need to do something about this whole situation here. So here is what it looks like in Firefox, right? So you can kind of recognize the website sort of. But let's see here what the DOM looks like, what we're working with. So we have a body, everything is centered. It's a table, so already I know this is going to be about tables because we don't really do table layout. But I guess we have to deal with that now. So, okay, so it's table, t-body, and then we have a row, a row, a row. So 3 rows in this table. And then what's going on here? Okay, so there's a table inside of this table, cell. So maybe we should look at that over here actually, because then we can get a better idea of the structure. So, wait, how do I detach this thing? Separate window. All right. So we have our center tag, our big table, and then okay, so we have these are the big rows. So there's like an outer table. This is very 1990s. There's an outer table and inner table going on here. Very charming. I remember making websites like this when I was like 12 years old. So yeah, so there's nested tables essentially. It's not really what I was expecting to find, but that's fantastic. Because I don't know, because then we have a reason to work on tables a little bit. So the big article list here is another table, and they're using some of these presentational attributes like cell spacing, cell padding, and so on. And then each one of these guys is a table row, and there's very little actually in terms of CSS, just a little bit of colorization and font selection. That's super bare bones. So that's interesting. So what should we start with? Maybe we should just start with like trying to get that whole text thing unbundled here. So let's see. I'm guessing that everything here is mushed together because we probably don't do anything at all in table layout. So I added some like stub classes for table layout, but it's really like layout table just inherits from block, and table layout just calls block layout, please. And how does this work? And then they had a t-body, right? And I think actually the HTML parser inserts t-body for you automatically, if I don't misremember. Didn't we write that code? T-body. Fake t-body token is inserted. How does that work? So if you insert a td, th, or tr while you're inside of the table, then the parser will automatically insert a t-body for you. Okay, so that's cool. And then tbody has display table row group. So layout table row group. Right. So this thing is supposed to lay out the TRs, but it really doesn't seem like they get very tall. So let's see. Let's get a layout tree dump. Oh my goodness, that's a big dump. Still going. All right. So what do we want to look for here? I guess we can grab some ID. So let's say we can start with the banner, I guess. That's the first table, first row, and then that nested cell here. So we have a TD BG color. We'll have to implement that also. Table cell element. Okay, we'll warm up with implementing TD BG color. So the way we'll implement that is we have a there's a thing we have to override, a virtual. Oh, what's it called? Apply presentational hint. Yes. Const override. Okay. So the purpose of this function is to take any style that is provided in the form of element attributes and turn it into CSS attributes. So in our case, we had a BG color on a table cell element. So TD, by the way, maps to HTML table cell element, and the same goes for the TH element. Both of them are HTML table cell elements. So here, when we apply the presentational hints, what we'll do is we'll just go through all of the attributes on this element, and I think it's name and value. So we'll just loop through all of them, and then we'll check if name is BG color. Oh, that's not one of our known names. Well, then we'll have to add that. Okay, BG color. Then let's be a good boy and style set property. Color style value create color from string value. Okay. Wait, what does that return? An optional color. Okay. So I guess you might give it an invalid color, in which case we should probably do nothing. So I mean, the behavior is probably specified somewhere. I don't remember what it is, and I don't want to go looking for that right now. So we'll say if color has value. So if we parsed some kind of color, set property property ID background color. Okay, so that's a call. So we walk the list of attributes, and if the name of the attribute that we are iterating is BG color, then we will try to parse the value. If the parse succeeds, then we will assign the CSS property background color to a new color style value with that color. And I'm thinking, you know, let's make a local copy of this. Maybe I can even do that here, actually. It's probably they're not serving different content depending on user agent. Based on the way their website is built, I would imagine that they just serve raw HTML. They don't care about... wait, what's going on here? What am I trying to do? Paste the whole thing. There we go. Okay. So let's see if we can handle that new color attribute, BG color. I imagine that there's going to be more attributes like that. So I think those are called presentational attributes. In libweb, we're calling them presentational hints. I don't remember what the specs call them. In WebKit, for the longest time, they were called mapped attributes, which I don't know where that came from. And then we changed it to presentation attributes. But for some reason, I chose presentational hints in the libweb. And maybe I had a reason. I don't remember. Oh, that fails for some reason. Let's see. Let's not care about that debugging that script loading failure. Let's just tweak the thing to not use scripts for now, because it's probably not the biggest deal if we don't run the analytics of HN. Because they wouldn't run properly anyway, and yeah. Okay, so some CSS is missing, but that's probably fine. But you'll notice the color up here does look pretty okay-ish. I think that's actually our code working. So let's just verify by, I guess we can do a DOM inspection. So we'll go to the, where was that? First table row, FF6600, and look at that. It turned into a CSS background color. Very awesome. Okay, so let's commit this stuff before we move on. Libweb, add bg color to HTML attribute names. Libweb. Handle the tdbg color. Turn tdbg color into background. Okay, so that's pretty cool. And then what else do we have? We have width. Maybe that would be immediately useful actually, because it says 85% there. And if we look at this page here, there's like white space on the sides. Also, I think they have a media query or something, but we don't support media queries, so we're just gonna ignore that. But I feel like this thing doesn't have enough white space on the sides, and it's probably because of that 85% width thing. So let's see if we can fix that too. It's the same kind of thing. So table element, final. What did I mess up this time? Oh, it's supposed to be const. All right. HTML table element. Come here, you big silly. All right, so let's see if we can get this working. So for each attribute, auto name, auto value. If name is HTML table element. No, HTML attribute names. Width. Then, I guess what we'll do then is something like style set property id width parse css value. So we'll just assume that it's like a valid CSS value, and there might be, I think that's how that's supposed to work. And then I'm sure that these are supposed to map to something else, but I think we're not going to respect those properties right now anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Likewise with border. What else do we have? We have v-align. That's probably okay. So let's see if this gives us the right. Oh, we don't have parse CSS value. Parser, CSS parser. Let's see if this at least smooshes the thing together. All right. Okay, well, I was expecting it to have a little bit of space on this side as well, but I guess it's a start. I feel like, you know, it's in the center, so I feel like it should be centered, but maybe the issue is that, well, I don't want to speculate on the issue, actually. Probably something is just going wrong. But at least it seems like we applied the width. Yeah. So it was transferred down to the specified style. So that's good enough for a start. Turn table width into a CSS to the CSS width property. All right, and then what are we gonna do? I guess we're gonna have to do something more interesting. So ignoring the weird centering issue, let's just try to unmush some of this text. So the layout tree is like a little bit unbearably large at the moment, so let's make a reduction here. We just call it 1HTML, and I think 1HTML will just cut out most of the stories. So where is the 3 dot here? So I think, yeah, we can just get rid of most of them. How many stories do they have? Oh, I guess 30. So let's see how this would look. It's a bit better, a bit more manageable. And let's see, where's the is this that guy? Let's give him a ridiculous width just to see. Okay, so this one is right here. So I'm just gonna give it an ID so we can easily catch it. Call it like the Y. And oh, this table is called HN main, and then this table inside here is called HN head, let's say. Okay, that should be enough for us to find this stuff. Maybe we'll even get rid of the second story, because why not? Okay, so let's take a look. Usually when you're working with this type of stuff, you want to make the web page that you're testing with as small as possible. Now, this is still pretty huge, but I think it's, or actually, you know what? This is still pretty huge. This is form and stuff at the bottom, and like really we don't care about this stuff right now, so let's just be rid of it. And likewise that stuff. Okay. I don't know what happened here, but okay, so text is still mashed on top of each other, but it's you know, a lot less of it, so it'll be a bit easier to investigate. Now let's get a layout tree dump and see what we're working with. So here's that HN head that we marked. That's the head table. So he is 0 pixels tall. That's alarming. And the outer table, the HN main, is also 0 pixels tall. These guys are all 0 pixels tall. So somebody along the way is probably not accumulating any height, and that kind of mistake propagates up the layout chain, so that if your height in the layout tree is dependent on the height of your children, which is very common in web content, then if your children mislayout and have 0 height, then you know that cascades up the ancestor chain and just becomes like this. So the first task is to figure out who is 0 height and shouldn't be, and the height should be contributed by somebody, so presumably somebody with text inside of him, because height always comes from somewhere. Either it's specified, like height : 10 pixels, or it's automatic based on content. And in this case, I think it should be automatic based on text and possibly images. So here is an image. That's the Y image. So that image is 18 pixels tall. So we'll notice here that the table cell that contains that image is actually 18 pixels tall as well. But the table row that contains that cell is himself 0 pixels tall. So it seems like height does not propagate from table cell to the table row. That is certainly something that we need to fix. And then I have some pretty bad allergies with the new summer season, but it's gonna be okay. And then down here we have, I guess this is the banner, or these things here, and they actually have these pieces of text, like Hacker News space new space past. They actually have height. So 10 pixels tall. That's based on the font height. So this table cell has height, and likewise it does not propagate to the table row. So what about the article? I think that's this guy right here. So this TR, 0 height, blah blah blah, 0 height D-body. Where does the first instance of height? So actually in this case, it's not that we have 0 height at the inner, like inside the tree, and then the zero propagates up, but this bug seems to be that we have height inside at the innermost nesting level, at the TD level, but the height does not propagate. Anyways, yeah, problem here again. So the TD class title has height 14 pixels, but the containing TR has height 0. Okay, so that's enough of confirming that. Let's go and look at layout table row and see what he does in layout. So what he does, he just calls layout box layout. So layout table row doesn't do anything to lay out his children. And I'm thinking we should probably try to do that. So I think we're just gonna approach table layout in the most naive way today, because one option would be to dig out the spec and try to work out like exactly how should table layout work according to CSS spec, but I feel like it would be more fun and maybe more productive and interesting if we actually sort of ad hoc it, and then down the road we can make adjustments to the algorithm as we learn how it's supposed to work, and then it'll be easier to understand, I think, how table layout is supposed to work if we've already worked our way through it once. At least that's how I tend to think about these things. So what does layout box layout even do? I think that would just... Okay, so it's just a loop that asks children to lay out. It's completely bare bones, just to not stop the recursion. So what are we going to do here? We are a table row. Presumably we have table cell children. And the easiest, stupidest thing we could do is to just take all of our cell children and put them on a horizontal line. So let's try doing that. For each child of type, layout table cell. Something like this. Okay, and then I guess we can ask the cell to lay out. And then our height, let's see, our height should be the tallest cell determines our height. Tallest cell height. Starting with 0. So then we'll just, whenever we lay out a cell, we'll just say tallest cell height is the max of tallest cell height and cell height. Cannot be implicitly captured. Well, my bad. Okay, and then afterwards we'll just say set height, tallest cell height. So let's see. So this is not going to propagate. It's not going to propagate width, but at least we should produce height when we do this. So let's try it out. I think. I'm not completely sure. We'll see. Oh wait, I wanted to load the one HTML. Okay, so did we achieve anything here? Let's take a look. TR. Look at that. The TR now has height. So the height has propagated from the TD child to the TR parent. But he still has zero width, so that's not very good. So what do we do with that? I guess, what is the width gonna be? How do we determine the width of a table row? I guess either it's specified, or I have to sneeze, or maybe that's a false alarm. So, oh man, maybe the height is specified, or if I sneeze, or the height would be automatically computed based on the shrink to fit width of all of the automatically sized cells. There are a couple of different options here, and probably they're all valid in some scenarios, so I guess it depends on if you have fixed size or automatic size cells. But for now, let's just assume that we have automatic size cells. So in fact, let's say that we have the available width, and we'll say that that's just the width of our containing block. just for simplicity, our containing block should be a layout table row group. Yes, hopefully. So that'll be him, and then we will just evenly distribute all of the width. So width per cell, cell count, and the cell count is going to be, I guess we'll calculate that here. So something like this, plus cell count. Okay, and then wait, what is table cell? How does he lay out? It's just a block and he doesn't know anything about layout. Oh, interesting. So another option, maybe it's actually easier to auto size the content. I have to look up how this thing works. Layout mode. So we have a few different layout modes. We have the default layout mode, but then we have two special layout modes where we try to break at every white space, basically, and we also try to never break unless there is like a BR element. So these are sort of, this is the normal behavior, and then this is like, what if we broke at every possible opportunity, and here is what if we never broke the line. And they sort of give you the minimum and maximum layout width of something. And in this case, what if we just were to use only required line breaks? So we'll auto-size the table with no constraint. That might be interesting. So layout mode, only required line breaks. And then we'll see what width he comes up with based on that. So width, like that. And then we'll just say width plus equals, maybe we'll call this content width, plus equals cell width, set width, set content width. How will this go, I wonder? Oh, okay. Not sure if anything visible good happened here. Let's see what it looks like here. So our TR now has width. Well, that's fantastic. So, okay. So what would the HN one look like? Yeah, they're still mashed together, so I guess we're not changing the offset of things, but at least the row has width now. And oh, this one has width, or I'm kind of curious to see if the auto sizing works at all. So this TD here has 297. Wait, let's go down to the articles. Okay, so where? Here. TD title. This is the one dot. That is 9 pixels wide. And then the vote links is 8. No, that's 0 pixels wide. I don't know why that happens. Vote arrow. Oh. How does that work? Is that an image or something? What is that? It's a background image with a specified width and height. We're missing that here. Oh, because we don't have the style sheet. Okay. But the auto sizing of the auto sizing seems to kind of work. I'm not sure if it actually is, but okay. I guess we'll see. But we need to space these things out vertically, so why is that not happening? So we have our outer table, the main table. He has a t-body, which is a table row group. So I'm guessing that in the table row group layout, we're probably not placing the children after one another. Okay, yeah. So layout table row. So we need to position each row at an offset after the last row that we placed. So we can do something like set offset row, I guess content height, something like this. Would that work? So this is like the accumulated height so far, and we'll just put him at that offset. Every layout object has an offset that is relative to its containing block. So that didn't quite do what I was hoping. Okay. That's a little too optimistic. All right. So but let's take a look at the page here. Or, you know what, let's make a test page. This is so narrow now at this point that we can just make a test page. Table tr row 1, row 2. Okay, something like this. Maybe we should have one more cell here. Hello. Friends. Look at me and my HTML skills. I should probably say row 3 there. All right, so let's see what this amazing table comes out as. Oops, what was it called? 2HTML? Okay, so everything is mashed together. That's good because now we have an extremely small test page. So the table row group, he places the first tr at offset 8.8, and the next tr is at 8.22, and the next tr is at 8.36. So the trs are at a good location. Oh, but the TDs are not. Interesting. Oh, right. Because we are updating we are positioning the rows after the fact. We need to be positioning the rows up front. So that these cells end up in the right place. So how do we position the cells correctly? That's the job of layout table row, I guess. So layout table row. The offset of the cell. needs to be we have the dimension. After we've laid out the cell, we know how wide it is and how tall it is, and we just need to place it. So what we want to do is we want to keep let's see, cell set offset, and it will be starting with, it has to have the offset of this table row. So when we do the table row group layout, maybe we should actually set the offset of the row before we call layout, so that he knows. Then he already knows, and then when he gets in here, then we can use the offset of the table row to know where to put the cells. Yes. Man, this stuff is, it's very hard to model this in my head, but I'm like trying the best that I can to explain what I'm doing. But yeah, so the table row group communicates the row placement to the row before calling row layout, so that by the time row layout starts, it knows its own offset and it's able to propagate that to all of its cell children. That's where we are now. So my offset, what is that? My effective offset, translated by content width, that's the X translation, and no Y translation necessary because this is a row, so we're only doing horizontal translation. All right, look at that. That's pretty cool. So, starting to look kind of interesting. And what if we open the whole thing? All right, so definitely some kind of progress, although a bit weird looking. Let's check out the live site to see what it looks like if we have the CSS loaded. I don't know if it would make that much difference, but we'll see. Okay. All right. So we are improving. Let's make some commits here. LibWeb. First cut of extremely naive table row layout. This first version, simply lace auto sizes all table cells and then places them on a horizontal line. Yes. So now what the actual heck is going on with the Hacker News layout? Why is it centered like that? We need to look closer. So let's take a look here with the inspector. So this is our main, our T body. And let's see, so this first thing here is actually, is that supposed to be centered? No, it's supposed to be left aligned. So why is it not left aligned? I guess this center here, oh, it's giving us a text align center. That's not necessarily what we want to happen just because you have center. Right? Crap, how does the center element work? Because it's like, if you have, what's the thing? Like, it's supposed to center the block, but not the content of the block. I think. Let's look this up. obsolete. Applying text align centers the contents of those elements while leaving their overall dimensions unchanged. Right, so I think the way we implemented the center element is we just did that in the default style sheet. So in here somewhere we have center element means text align center. And that's not really what we want center to be doing. But what the heck is it supposed to be doing? It's a block level element that displays its block level or inline contents centered. Within its containing element. Wait, difference between center and text align center. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. You're trying to center a block level element in some content. Okay, I'm not exactly sure how the center element's supposed to behave. This is clearly not supposed to do this. Is it supposed to? Let's mess with it. So how does it work here? This guy just says center. Can we see some information about this somewhere? Text align, Moz center. Okay, what is Moz center? Presumably that's the vendor specific attribute or vendor specific CSS value. Moz center. What are you doing with it? Is it that... I'm so confused. What the hell does it do? So I'm thinking like we want the block to be centered, but not the content. So is it like that it doesn't get inherited, or I don't know. For some reason, my brain is choking on this right now. So what about we just hack the thing to not have center in it for now? So we call it no center. It'll just be some stupid element that we just put there. And we'll see what happens. Actually, maybe that would totally break the display. Yeah, it did. Okay, so we can't do that. But we just call it div. Good old div. I just want to see what it looks like if we don't have that centering going on automatically. Okay, so that's starting to look pretty cool. Now what's going on with those pipes anyway? Why are they so weird? They look normal here. It's like space pipe space. So why do they end up like that? Space pipe space, jobs. Oh, this is the one. Hold on. Okay. And if we turn on the line box borders, it's a little bit weird. Let me dump out the layout tree and let's take a look at these guys. Why do they look like that? See, we have the space here. I wonder if we're collapsing that space for some reason. Could that be it? Like, we're swallowing space on the right side, maybe? We'll have to look into that. And also, what's going on here? That's a bit suspicious. Gearling guy. So by and then this link, they kind of overlap. That's not good. So why is that happening? Let's see. There's a little bit of text layout weirdness going on. But okay, so there's a call span here. We're clearly not respecting the TD call span. And I guess that's what's supposed to cause us to sort of skip over that first TD. Call span. Wow, I haven't even thought about these attributes in forever. So that's when you say TD call span, that means that this cell that you're creating, it spans more than one column. So call span 2 means that this particular cell spans 2 columns wide, not a single column, which is the default. So that's this cell right here. He has call span 2. Okay, so he spans the title and the upvote link cell. So interesting. I guess we're not doing anything to make the cells have the same width, so that's probably what was messing up this page here, right? Like we need to make an effort to actually we need to measure the cells and make them consistent. So let's do that in a double pass or 2-pass thing. So first we'll make a pass compute all of the cell widths, and then we will place all the cells. So let's see, vector, and put a little inline capacity to avoid heap allocations, because why not? And then we'll do the layout of each cell, but we don't place them yet. We just wait, how does this work? This is just to measure them, right? And then cell widths. Oh, wait. This has to happen at a level above. Right. So the row group needs to do this. Oh, damn, okay. So the row group, right now he just goes through all of the table rows and does them one at a time. But we need to actually go through them first and figure out how wide each column should be. Okay, so this will actually be here. So we'll call this column widths, and let's not prematurely optimize. What am I even doing? Okay, so column widths. Right, so step one is to do this part, layout. Maybe we'll make a special version here that takes more arguments because we need to pass some other stuff to this guy. So we'll call it layout row. We can have a layout that does nothing. Because nobody should be calling table row layout this way. It should always happen driven by a table row group. So we can have something like this that gets the vector of column widths. Vector float column widths. Okay, so let's see, what do we need to do? We need to figure out how many columns there are. That's the first step now. And we need to know that at the table row group level. So I have to count the columns. Size t column count. Maybe should we do this in the DOM instead, maybe? So we'll ask our DOM node. Okay, and table row t body. What's it called? Wait, who do we ask about this? You know what? Let's do it here. Okay. We'll do it in the layout tree. I don't know why I keep changing my mind. We have to compute the number of columns in this table. So we'll do that by iterating over all of the table rows. And row column count, and then we'll, inside of here, we'll iterate through all of his layout table cell children. Okay, so row column count plus plus, oopsie doopsie. And I guess table column count is max of table column count and row column count. Right. That's good. Cell node let's get that frickin' call span attribute. If we have call span, then we will fetch it, or let's fetch it this way. If call span value is not null and let's do a to-uint on this guy. Okay, so if call span has value, row column count increment by col span value. All right. Taking col span into account, like a proper grown-up. I feel like we should have put this in its own function, actually. So layout table, row group, total, column count. Or maybe just column count. Okay. That's fine. All right, so now that we know how many columns there are, what do we do with that? I guess first thing we can do is prematurely optimize. No, stop prematurely optimizing, Andreas. With the column count, what the actual frick are we gonna do? I'm blanking again. What we're gonna do is remember the width of each column. Right. So what does that mean? In our first pass, we will go through all of the rows and do measure columns, compute column widths, calculate column widths. I like that. Okay. And then this guy, we'll just resize him to the column count, and everybody can address into it by index, hopefully. Okay, so what does this function do? This has now become, or hold on. We want to calculate column widths. Okay, and what we do here is we do layout of each cell and keep track of which column index we're in. We also need that frackin' col span. So if this thing has col span, then how do we do that? That's confusing. Let's not think too much about it. Let's just assign all of the width to the one at the current index. So column widths at column index plus is max of himself, and the new cell width that we just computed. And then if we have col span, then we just increment the index a little bit extra. Let's say, I don't know if that's the right thing to do. We might want to do something different, but let's not get hung up on that right now. So, please. This is probably not the best way to solve this. Col spanning, let's call it that. Okay. So now we have invented this magical device. And then we can also invent, let's make this thing private. And we can also invent ourselves a layout row. And now this thing will be const, because now we've asked every row, so now we actually know the final column width. Here we're just calculating them, and everybody stretches the columns so that they get the right width. Okay, so now that we've done this, we need our empty layout function that does nothing, because we're not going to use this guy anymore. Oh wait, we already had it. Okay, never mind. Where did it go? Oh, here. Okay. Column index. Maybe we should put the col span in the cell class so that we can ask for it instead, because then it doesn't have to look this awkward. Cell col span, like that, right? Wouldn't that be nice? Size t col span. Look at this. Object-oriented programming, dude. Return. Otherwise, my friend, return 1. Boom. My node's not an attribute. But I know that my node is going to be an element of some kind. Okay, let's just do this. All right. Value or 1. Or we can even do it this way. Return value or 1. Oh, look how tidy. Oh, it's so nice. Okay, because then this becomes so much nicer as well. So here, what we want to do now is, wait, where are we now? This is the column count. So row column count plus equals cell col span. And then in table row, we've stretched out, figured out all of the column widths. Now we just have to place these guys. So instead of doing a layout, we just have to place them. And instead of asking the cell for the width, we just look in the column width cheat sheet. Column index. That's where we go. Okay. And then column index plus equals cell col span. Okay. Let's see if this remotely works the way I imagine it in my head. I did a boo-boo somewhere. Forgot to save. Okay, that was my first mistake. And then we're static casting from layout node to layout table cell somewhere at 51. Wait, why? 52. Oh, this thing is supposed to return something. That's my bad. And then I'm making some dumb mistake here. Column width, we're supposed to pass. So many different things to fix. Why is everything broken here? Oh, I see. Because the type is incomplete. I was like, why does it keep breaking in such loud ways? It's because it doesn't know what a table cell is. That's why. I should have read the whole error. It's just sometimes when the screen fills up with errors, you know, in this memey C++y way, then I just ignore them and I just go look at the code and try to work out what's wrong instead. Because I feel like it's easier to do it that way than to actually read the error message, which sounds a little bit silly maybe. Okay, so this didn't do what I wanted. Because why? I'm not sure. But I guess we can mess with our little test thingy. So we have a little test thing. Let's see if we can put some interesting data in there. In this test, row 3 has a long text. Actually not super interesting, but it should trigger a resizing behavior, right? And it does. See? It actually aligns everybody. How nice is that? So my super cool algorithm actually worked. Oh, but we didn't test cold span. Let's see if I modeled it correctly in my head. So let's see. This is the, let's make a third column. But this guy, let's see, let's put something differently. So we'll put the third column text at the bottom here. And this guy will have call span of 2. Nice. Oh wait, no, is that nice? It doesn't feel nice. Something here is not right. I just said nice reflexively. I didn't think about what I was nicing. Okay, yeah, so this is the expected result. Hello? Because this one spans 2 columns. So the only problem here is that this guy does not take up 2 columns. This guy doesn't move to over here. Now why is that? The third and column texts, they're placed correctly. So when we're here, we should really advance 2 steps in the widths index. Do we not do that? Layout row. We increment it by call span. Did I not compute that correctly? Call span. Let's see if it ever prints anything other than 1. I'm curious. All right, we got some 2s. Fine. But then I feel like this code here is not correct for call span. But then anyway, let's see. So maybe we can print out what the things are here, the widths. Let's do that one step up. Layout, table, row, group. Okay. Laying out table rows with these column widths. I don't know, something like that. I just want to see what the widths are. Because we should have 3 columns with some reasonable numbers. So this sounds about right. Laying out table rows, sure. Let's just print something maybe helpful here. We'll see what happens with that. Layout style. At column. And then we can even do the column widths for that guy. See what it says. All right, so what do we got here? Placing cell number 0 at 115. No, that's the width of that column. So that's actually how far we advance after this one. So really we place cell 1 at 115. This guy is placed at 0. Cell 2 is at advances 39. So that's the width of the final column, sure. Wait a minute. Placing cell. We need to advance further. So the thing that we should do, this can go here. Call span is cell call span, and then we want to iterate this many times and add the width from all of those columns. We don't want to skip over the width. We want to get the width from all the columns. Yes, like that. Excellent. that centering is still messing everything up. What if we hack the default style sheet to not do this for a moment? I just want to see what it looks like. Take me to the Hacker News. Wow, look at that. It's like we're in the Bay Area. Can we actually open these? See what these guys are talking about. Biohacking light. Oh, look at that. It's that inactive window business. We're not responding. Are you actually responding? No, you're not. Oh, wait, he woke up. Ooh, but we're still drawing it as not responding. We should probably knock it off with all of this debug output. Table row group. That part is fine. Probably here we should do what the other engines seem to do, which is to have like the web dash center, and then that needs to do some magic trickery that I have yet to comprehend what it should be. But what did it say here? We had text-align Moz center, right? Text-align Moz center, yeah. I guess if you have inline children, then they should be, if your children are text, then they should be centered, like normally. If your children are blocks, they should be centered. But if your block children have text in them, that text should not be centered. That part is weirding me out a little bit. Also, this URL here looks really... I feel like we're making a parsing mistake somewhere, because that's clearly not the right URL. So actually, yeah, let's just try it without the debug logging, because I just want to see the site actually loading. Boom. It's pretty cool to be able to open Hacker News at all. And this is clearly better than where we started, just saying. What are we going to read about? What's the most Hacker News article I can see here? Espresso, a simple expressions language? That's not Hacker News enough. Replaced my MacBook Pro with a Raspberry Pi for a day. That's pretty Hacker Newsy. I feel like we should fix this. What is that gray arrow thing? Maybe it's in the CSS. It's probably in the CSS. Okay, so it's a URL with double quotes. We probably just don't handle that at all. And then we crashed. Fine. Let's do something about that URL thing. So what was that thing? Is a background URL, right? So we need to just strip, currently we only handle like URL, paren, and then text. No single quote, no double quote. So what we'll do here is we'll say if URL starts with double quote, then URL. Actually, let's be good boys and say ends with double quote. And then URL is substring view 1 URL length -2. Actually, I guess we should have the same for these guys as well. Not the most elegant code, but sometimes you just want to get the job done. This is more stuff that falls under the we need to write a proper CSS parser umbrella. But maybe at least we can load that gray arrow correctly. Okay, that still didn't work. Coming up in Chrome here. Wait a minute, that does load. So it's a GIF, sure, and it has an invalid PNG header. Sure, that makes sense. I would imagine it's not a PNG. Okay, hold on. I want to find out what's going on with this image. Okay. Failed to load the bitmap. I'm trying it as a GIF, sure. Is that a very special GIF? I'm a bit surprised by this GIF. What's wrong with it? Okay. Well, it seems like we can't load it for some reason. But why not? This is annoying. GIF loader. It's a GIF 89A. Sure, we can handle that. We have no debug code here. Sure, fine, whatever. I guess we could log something here. Just log something like this. I just want to see if we're actually even interpreting this thing correctly. This is not a GIF. What's even going on here? Because I think we're downloading the file correctly, we just can't display it. we should do some commits. Well, that didn't go so well. Right. This is not a GIF. Really? I don't have hexdump. Right. I feel like we should be able to identify it if the very first bytes of the file are that. So maybe something goes wrong with our download. Let's find out. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? I want to mount the disk image. And hold on, GGIF here. Okay, so what's GGIF? Hexdump, CGIF. Aha! Look at this GIF. It looks like shit. It's a HTTP moved document. That's why we can't open it. We don't handle redirections. We don't handle the redirection when we open the image. Huh. Interesting. Where do we handle redirections currently? I guess we get a location header somewhere. And yeah. So when we loading a page, we get a redirection, and then we could get redirections when we load images. So where's this redirecting us to even? Get moved where? Okay. You want me to get it off of HTTPS? That's the issue? That's what you're making such a big fuss about? Okay, so maybe we don't work on the redirection of images right this very moment, but what if we loaded the website over HTTPS? Since that is so important to you guys. Then you do recognize it as a GIF. Well, that's fantastic. It's not exactly showing up anywhere, but still fine. This is very noisy. Okay, so the comments section is pretty messy because we don't line break the table rows. But anyways, I figured we would focus on the front page. I was just curious if we could open the comments, and we can, but it's not perfect. So let's do commits, right? Commits. This one was adding colspan to layout table cell. Layout table cell colspan. A convenient function for looking up a cell's colspan attribute. Add colspan to HTML attribute names. error. Then this change was the quoted, single and double quoted URLs in background image in CSS. Allow URL. It's very hackish and will be fixed by writing a proper CSS parser. Okay, and then the GIF loader thing, I think we'll just skip over that because there was nothing wrong with the GIF loader. It was just a redirect. And then more work on the table layout. So let's see, let's commit that. Web. More work on table layout. Now do 2 passes. Table row layout now is now split into 2 phases. Compute all of the column widths, even taking goal span into account. And then place all this phase visits all, or actually both phases visit all rows. Place all cells at the correct XY offsets based on column widths. Both phases visit all rows and all cells. Okay, so that's pretty cool. By the way, I feel like this is supposed to be black, not gray. So how come it's gray here? That's a bit suspicious. What gives? libweb. Let's go and take a peek. Why are you gray? Oops, oopsie doopsie. So the color here is 82, 82, 82. But if we look here, oh, it's a link. That's why it's black. Ooh. Interesting. So wait, so the one is gray, sure. Title is in this thing here. An A with an href, so it's clearly a link. Why does the link selector not match? Do we have that selector, I wonder? Oh, I didn't want the layout tree, I wanted style sheets. Dang it. Come on, man. Okay. Link. A:*link. Yeah, this guy right here is who we want. So it's pretty high up, actually. Body, td, admin, blah, 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 blah. A and A. Okay, so we're not noticing the pseudo class on these selectors. So we should fix that. We have link pseudo class, so why are we not picking that up? We should also parse visited. And then we can just always fail visited. or I don't know, but we don't want them to have visited appearance. But right now it gets visited appearance because the engine only notices 2A selectors in succession, so the second one takes precedence because in CSS, if two selectors have the same specificity, then document order determines, or style sheet order determines priority. So that's why the second style is always applied here, but it's weird that we don't see it when we dump it. Do we maybe see it? So let's add the visited here. Oh, maybe the link one is working fine. It's just that the visited one is not parsed, and then it matches because we didn't know that we had to. Yeah, that's probably the issue, that we couldn't parse the A colon visited, so we just parsed it as an A, and then that always matched. But now that we add visited as a pseudo selector, we will just never match it. Maybe match sometimes. Yeah, I think that's going to be the issue. So the link selector was being a good boy and matching correctly, but the visited pseudo class was not a good boy and matched everything because it was not even parsed. So I think now that we parse it and fail it every time, it will show black links on Hacker News. I hope. Let's see. We should probably download their CSS so we can browse locally. Come on, boys. Let's see those links. Ah, come on. I'm disappointed. What's going on, you guys? Let's try one more time. Ah, we didn't get black. Why not? Wait. Did I do this incorrectly? I should say false here, not break, right? I did it the wrong way. Okay, 49th time is the charm, and they're not black, but they look like links instead. I guess that's fine. How do we get them to go black? Why are they not black at the moment? Color libweb link. Does this not work? Element is link. If you have an enclosing link element and it has the href attribute, enclosing link element already checks that it's an anchor element with the href attribute. So is link really doesn't need to check this because we're already checking it in enclosing link element. So that's a little bit of a simplification there. But that's weird. I wonder why that doesn't work. Let's see, let's add some smarts. Libweb. Parse and match the visited pseudo class. Always fail though. If we don't do this, a visited things like, or something like a visited is parsed as a, which then takes precedence, which may then take precedence, or a previous a link, etc. And this change right here. Simplify node is link. No need to check for attribute as closing that is already checked by closing link element. Okay. Oh shit! I forgot the selector change. Move. This one goes into this one. Okay. So let's make a test page to mess around with that weird link issue. So we would have a :link, color black, href foo. What's up, guys? Okay. Nice. Oopsie. Why are you not black? That's weird. It's black here, yes. We could even throw in a text decoration, none, for good measure. But I feel like this thing is just not matching. So one issue is that we're not dumping out pseudo classes when we're dumping selectors. Dump selector. We need to dump the pseudo. Const char pseudo class description. Wait. Oops. Okay, so we're just gonna have to do this, which is a little bit boring, but I'm just hacking it this way right now because I just wanna get through it. So that would be empty. That'll be our root selector and focus. Oopsie doopsie. We had empty. We should really do an enumerator macro for these, but it is what it is. hover. What do we have? Last child, first child, and only child. Forced. Okay. And then we can just include it here, I guess. Sets of attributes will include it here. Okay. And then debug printf %s, or if simple selector pseudo class is not okay. Very fugly, but whatever. I just want to see if we're even parsing this correctly. Now I'm getting a little suspicious. Also, we need to fetch their CSS, stash it locally. Oh, can't view source. Okay, now that center thing is goofed again. So dump style Cheetos. Okay, so we have the colon link pseudo class here. That's good. This is actually not such a good way of showing it because it looks deceptively like maybe you parsed it as a string or something. So let's just print it out this way instead. Oops. Oopsie. Okay, having some maneuvering problems, but it does have a link pseudo class, so that's a bit weird. So does that not match our tag, I wonder? Guess we can just check here. If element is not a link, we return false. Is not a link, bro. Just say it to my face, selector engine. Sure, HTML head and body are not links, but that A tag, he's a link. So the A tag, but still, wait, why does this happen? Oh. But the default style sheets should be applied first. Is this, what does this underline mean? I don't know. Do we not apply these in order? For each style sheet, we do the first one, the default style sheet first, and then all of the document style sheets. So we get libweb link. Pseudo class is link. So it should really match this guy. Why? The matching rules is just... Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh, I bet we're messing this up when we're sorting it by specificity later. Ooh, shit. Yeah. Because then we're losing the... oh, we'd lose the document order. Oh, that's annoying. Right, we sort by specificity here. We should really sort by style sheet index and style sheet index and also the index within the style sheet. Can we actually communicate that out here maybe? So collect matching rules. What if you return something a bit richer? Because the issue is that, so we have two style sheets, right? Like we have the browser provides his own style sheet, which has this in it, right? So color is blue, say, like, it's not that, but you get the idea. So browser default, CSS, and then we have the author provided CSS, which the one I made, which has color black. So when we look for matching selectors, we first check this one and it's a match. So we add this to the matching list of matching rules, and then we check this one and it also is a match. So we add that one to the list of matching rules. And the rule matcher does everything right. It's just the problem is that the guy who calls him, he then goes and like tries to organize everything by ordering these by selector specificity, and that's not a stable sort, so he loses the internal order between these two. And then I think now what we're going to do is we're going to fix that by including a bit more information so that we can sort correctly. So what we'll return, instead of just a vector of style rule, we'll return a vector of matching rule, and a matching rule will be a ref putter to a style rule, but also style sheet index and index in style sheet. That's a bit weird, but yeah. So that's the the document. The default style sheet is like index 0, and then the document first style sheet is index 1, and so on. And then index in style sheet is like the index of the rule in that style sheet. And in fact, we should probably also have index of selector in rule, because the rule can have more than one selector. So then this will be, I think this will do the trick. Now we just have to return these guys instead. So matching rules. Okay, so we have a match, but then we need to know a whole bunch of things here. So style sheet index, and then this will be the actually, maybe we'll call it the rule index and the selector index. Style sheet index, yes. Okay. So what did we have in here now? We had the rule, and then the style sheet index, the rule index, and the selector index. I think those are the things that we needed. Let's just see if that's correct-ish. Okay, and then install resolver on line 500. When we iterate over the matching rules, we now have to sort them a little bit differently here. So what we're sorting is a vector of we're just sorting matching rules. Because now all of these fixed me's go away. So if a dot style sheet index is less than b style sheet index. Wait, oh, hold on. If the specificity is less than, then that's a winner. This is less than, right? So if specificity is less than, then A is less than B. Okay, and I guess if they're equal, then no. If A is greater than B, then it's false. But if they're equal, then we have to do some more checks. So if A, oh, and this is totally wrong here actually. Select a selector. Wait, how does this even work? What is this? This is in. Let's type these so we can see what we're doing. A rule selectors at a selector index. Okay, so if a selector specificity is less than b selector specificity. Okay, otherwise, if a, then we have to do a check on the style sheet index. This logic doesn't seem sound. Okay. A rule index less than B rule index. Yeah. Okay. And then this is now a match. Okay. Oh, I wonder if we got that right. this feels really awkward, but basically it was sorting by specificity and then by style sheet index and then by rule index. Because specificity is more important than order. So now it's black. That's good. Okay, let's see what it looks like on the web. This is very noisy. This is not doing what I expected it to do. Oh wait, it is black. Okay, okay, maybe it was fine. It's not a link, bro. Maybe it's actually fine now. Let's see. Web include pseudo selector pseudo class in style sheet dumps. All right, just trying to sneak in some commits here while we okay, so there's a bit of like it doesn't restyle the content immediately when we load, but I feel like that's I don't know what that problem is. But we end up with black now, so that's pretty cool. And the centering issue is still weird, but man, I am starting to get a little too tired for figuring all this stuff out. And I feel like we made a lot of good progress anyway, so I'm just going to commit the remaining stuff, and then I think we'll be done for the day. Fix broken specificity operator equals, and then right, so sort apply style rules in order of specificity, or sort style matched style rules by specificity plus document order. Specificity comma document order. Right. If two rules have equal is specificity. They should be applied. The order in which we encountered them. Right. Oh, man. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for today. So I think this is some pretty good progress. I mean, it's not perfect, and we need to figure out a lot of things, but we've gotten some very basic table layout in place, which is really cool. And we can actually open Hacker News, and it kind of sort of looks like itself, although still the centering thing is messed up. We need to figure out how to do that correctly. But yeah, this will be the end of the video. So if you made it this far, then I thank you for watching. And I hope that you saw something interesting here. I really enjoyed doing this kind of challenge where you just go nuts on trying to make something work. And you just like throw yourself headfirst into something without knowing exactly what it's going to be about. It's really fun. But yeah, so that's it. I am gonna go and make dinner. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.